So I don't know if you guys have been following up with this Blake Lively shit that's still going on. That started as um, her saying Justin Baldoni sexually harassed her on set. She made a bunch of allegations, leaked them to the New York Times. They wrote this big story. Then we went and found the evidence, and Justin's team responded by providing all the examples and showing none of what she said was true or taken very much out of context and totally unbelievable. Well, now she's claiming that there's this smear campaign in response to her filing a complaint, a false one, I believe, in my opinion, against Justin Baldoni. She's saying that in retaliation, they made the smear campaign, not realizing that everybody just didn't like the way she promoted this movie. And now we realize that Ryan Reynolds was in charge of the marketing for the movie. So they wanted to make it seem like Barbie, but it's a movie about domestic violence, and she's not Margot Robbie, not even close to as likable or pretty, for that matter. But so Ryan Reynolds is butthurt that the marketing for this movie about domestic violence was received poorly by the public. And most of the outrage for the marketing of this movie came in the form of public backlash against Blake Lively, organically. Okay? Nobody paid us to say, what the fuck are you doing, lady? With this, grab your florals, let's go see a movie about domestic violence, and here's my Betty Booze, drink up, and ooh, let me help you with your hair. Okay? That's how she promoted this movie. Not only that, but when interviewers asked her, oh, what would you like to say to women who are experiencing domestic violence if they came up to you while you're promoting this movie? And she said, do you want my location? Would you like me to, or I could like send you a text, or... It was jarring. It's like these elites don't see how they actually appear to the rest of us. They just don't. She thinks she's funny. It's like she took on the personality of Ryan Reynolds in the self-deprecating humor department, except for this is a movie about domestic violence, not a time for a quirky little Ryan Reynolds act that she was displaying throughout the promotion of this movie. So she believes that this is a coordinated attack against her, coming from Baldoni and Wayfair. It's not. But she doesn't believe that. So she won't drop this. Now, the main person she says that was promulgating this fucking smear campaign, the smear campaign against her, is named Jed Wallace. Jed Wallace has this PR company in Texas, and because of the backlash of how she was promoting the movie, he was put on and hired to help sort of disintegrate this backlash. Not a smear campaign against Blake, but actually trying to help so the movie doesn't tank, okay? She sues him, wrong district, but she sues him in, I think, New York, but his business is located in Texas, so if she wants to refile, she has to change the jurisdiction to Texas. But in Texas, they have way more protections against frivolous lawsuits, so she would have to actually come up with evidence and depositions before filing this lawsuit, and she's not going to be able to do that because there is no evidence, and she just admitted it as much in her last round of legal filings against, guess who? Content creators. I mean, small content creators. Everybody from just your random ass person online to somebody like Without a Crystal Ball, Candace Owens, Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet, Zach Peters, who else did she go after? A lawyer who just comments on litigation on Twitter. I mean, she's going to such lengths to prove a smear campaign that isn't in existence. It's just people don't like you and your husband, lady. But anyways, it's not stopping her. So instead of going after Jed Wallace, she's going after these content creators because they live in jurisdictions that don't have protections against frivolous lawsuits, okay? And now they're having to hire attorneys to respond to these. And in response to them being like, you're not getting my banking information, you're not getting... What are you kidding? You're not allowed to say against a public person that you think they're vile? You're a public figure. If we don't like you, too bad, so fucking sad. Go back in your hole if you don't want to receive criticism. You know, it's just ridiculous. But what this is doing is it's silencing content creators from being able to talk about how much they don't fucking like Blake Lively and her stupid husband, Ryan Reynolds. I find this so offensive that somebody with that much money can literally just silence creators on here, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever the platform, because they don't like their speech. That's basically what this is coming down to. And so in the latest filings, because these smaller content creators or just random people online are receiving these subpoenas, they are now discussing how upsetting this is. And her attorneys are wanting them to shut up about all of it because it's creating more backlash against her. She's causing the backlash from doing things like this because she just didn't accept that we see that you filed a frivolous complaint against Justin Baldoni, lied about sexual harassment, allegedly. I don't want to get sued. Okay? And we called you out for it. We said you don't have evidence. They offered to do an investigation and you said no. So this is all in response to how you promoted a movie callously against domestic violence, and because we just organically think you suck. Like, what the fuck? And on top of it, these now random people and small-time content creators are having to hire lawyers, pay lawyers to respond to this. So what this is doing is basically showing money can buy silence. And I don't think we should accept this whatsoever. We should be allowed to comment on whoever the fuck we want in regards to their actions. You make millions of dollars because the public decided at one point you were worthy of watching on things like Gossip Girl or Ryan Reynolds. I didn't watch his movies. I think the last movie I saw of his was Waiting, or what's that one, like the one in college where he's that kid who never wants to graduate college. I forgot. It's so stupid. I watched it when I was like a teenager. I mean, if we don't like you, that's our choice. You chose to be a public figure. You know, you have to take the good with the bad. So if you were a publicly adored figure for all these years, that you make all these millions of dollars because we paid to see your movies or watch your TV shows, you have to take that good and that financial gain with the bad. For when you do something vile as a public figure, we as the public should be allowed to comment on it without you trying to sue us. I mean, how crazy is this? She's just repugnant. She's absolutely fucking repugnant. Ugh. Leighton Meester is 100% my favorite on Gossip Girl. Always was. Blake Lively is just so disgusting. The movie is called Van Wilder. I just thought of it. I was like, what the fuck was that movie that I watched when I was a teenager? Van Wilder. That's like the last movie I saw of him. I didn't get into the whole Deadpool nonsense. But that self-deprecating quirkyism thing that he does was cute, maybe initially. I'm so over it because he's a total fraud. So, in my opinion, allegedly, protect myself from these fucking insane bullies. I can't even believe what she's doing to people who just want to express an opinion. Freedom of speech. You know, I bet if this happened in the UK or Canada, these content creators would be deplatformed in favor of rich-ass Blake Lively and her fucking rich-ass fraud of a husband. Ugh. Well, there you go. There's the rundown of the latest. Blake Lively's going after small-time content creators.